Okay, finding probabilities. First of all, probability. I think we all have a fairly good idea what it means, okay? It's the likelihood or the chances of something happening, okay? But the way you find probability is you take the number of favorable outcomes over the total number of outcomes. Okay? Such as when you roll a dice and I say, what is the probability that you roll a 6? Well, there's only one favorable outcome on a dice that has a 6 on it. And then there are 6 total sides on the dice, so the probability that you roll a 6 would be 1 out of 6. Okay? What is the probability in a deck of cards that I deal you an ace? Well, how many favorable outcomes are in a deck of cards? 4. How many total outcomes are there? 52, so 4 over 52, which I want you to reduce those fractions, okay? You'll use your calculator to help you to reduce those fractions. If your calculator can't change something back to a fraction, if the decimal's so crazy that it won't change it back to a fraction, you can just round the decimal to a few decimal places or something, okay? But otherwise, I'd like you to leave them in fraction form. So, probability, number of favorable outcomes over total number of outcomes. So I've talked about some basic ones. Let's see. I like example number 2 on page 699 if you want to follow along with that. It says a community center hosts a talent contest for local musicians. On a given evening, 7 musicians are scheduled to perform. Okay? So we got 7 musicians performing, 7 performers. Alright? The order in which the musicians perform is randomly selected during the show. What is the probability that the musicians perform in alphabetical order by their last names? What is the probability that the performers happen to perform alphabetically by their last names? Okay? So the probability they perform by last name. Okay? Well, how many favorable outcomes would there be? How many ways could that happen where they perform exactly in alphabetical order?
7C1? It just be one.
Isn't there just one way that they could perform alphabetically?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the only way they could perform alphabetically is if they perform alphabetically. I mean, so there's only one favorable outcome.
Wouldn't it be PR, not CR?
How many total ways could the performers perform?
7C. P.
We're putting them in. We're putting them in alphabetical order, right? Order.
Yeah.
So 7.
E1.
7 factorial would work, or 7 NPR. 7 would work. I'm personally going to go 7 factorial. How many ways could you put 7 people in order? 7 factorial. Okay. So 1 over 7 factorial. Whatever answer that is. Okay. I guess it doesn't say in the book. 5,040. So 1 over 5,040. Okay? There's only one favorable outcome, that's them actually performing by their last name alphabetically. Over the total number of ways you could line 7 people up in an order to perform, that would be 7 factorial, or 7 NPR 7. Okay? Alright. Part B of that one. Part B says, you are friends with 4 of the musicians. What is the probability that the first 2 performers are your friends? What are the probability that the first 2 performers are your friends? So probability the first 2 are your friends. Okay? Total outcomes. How many total ways could they pick the first 2 performers?
2C, 7C.
7C2. There's 7 total people to choose from. We're choosing 2 of them to go first. How many different ways could that happen? 7C2, okay? Because you're just choosing 2 of them. It doesn't matter who was first and who was second. We're just choosing the first 2 performers, right? Okay? So 7C2 will be the total number of ways 2 people could perform. How many of those would have your 2 friends in it? How many ways could, of your 4 friends, how many different ways could 2 of them be the first 2 performers? 4C2. Because you have 4 of the performers that are your friends, and you're choosing some combination of 2 of them to perform in the first 2 spots. So 4C2 over 7C2, and according to the book, we'll just save ourselves 6 over 21, which is 2 over 7. Okay? You have 4 friends, you're choosing some group of 2 to perform first. That's how many total combinations there are in which the first 2 performers are your friends. And then 7C2 would be the total number of groups of 2 the performers could perform in those first 2 spots. Okay? But again, this one is in CR because we're not saying someone has to perform first and someone has to perform second. We're saying it's just that they have to perform in the first 2 spots. Okay? So there's a good probability question. Another one that's good, it's part of the homework. Says you have an equally likely chance choosing any integer 1 through 50. Find the probability of a given event. Okay? So let's say we got the numbers 1 through 50 in a hat. Alright? In a hat. We have the numbers 1 through 50 in a hat. So we got a hat, all the digits, all the numbers 1 through 50 are in it. We're going to reach in and we're going to draw out a number. Okay? What's the probability we draw a number less than 35? What's the probability we draw a number less than 35 out of the hat?
What would be like 50C1 for the total outcome?
Yep, you probably don't even need to do that here, but yeah, 50C1 would be the total. 50C1 is just 50 though, which would make sense because how many total outcomes are there? 50, alright. So I'm fine with the 50C1. Some people would just probably say even 50 for the denominator. How many numbers are less than 35? 30. Less than 35. 34, right? Okay, we don't have 0 in here. Alright. So this would be 34 out of 50, which would reduce 17 out of 25, right? Okay. How about the probability of you drawing a prime number?
How many prime numbers?
Well, let's find them. So, 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, 23, 29, so we're up to 10, 31,
No.
34.
39.
No, it's
37.
39.
Oh, yeah.
It's got to be prime. We got numbers 1 through 50.
39.
39 is divisible by 3.
41.
41,
43.
43,
47.
and 47. Yeah.
What's the prime number?
A prime number is a number that is divisible by itself and 1.
Okay.
So it only has two factors, 1 in itself. Okay, what do we say now? 15. Okay,
That's really fun to watch.
so 15 out of 50, which we reduce to 3 out of 10. Okay, what's the probability that you would draw a 2-digit number?
30. 40.
What's that? 10 and up, so how many numbers are not 2-digit numbers?
10. Oh, 9.
9. 9 of them are not 2-digit numbers, so therefore the probability of you choosing a 2-digit number, 41 out of 50. Good job. Okay? Alright, so those are good problems.
Okay, you're right. I should write something down. Oh, well, that sucks. Alright. I should have set that. The live set. Alright, so I'm gonna put this down. I'm gonna put stupid. Stop.
Oh, I can't remember how many. When you play the Powerball jackpot, right? There are 59 white numbered balls. You have to pick 5 of those numbers. Numbers 1 through 59, okay? Numbers 1 through 59, you have to choose 5 of them. There are 35 red Powerballs. You need to choose 1 red Powerball. That's how you play the Powerball jackpot. You make, I think it's a $2 bet, okay? Just to get a set of numbers. What is the probability of you actually winning that thing?
Trillions.
Okay? Not quite. Okay? What is the probability you win? Well, how many ways do you win?
50 lots.
One.
Oh,
Unfortunately, there's only one way to win, and that's to get all of the numbers correct.
well, can't you win with like just 3?
I'm sorry. What's the probability you win the jackpot?
Okay, yeah, just 1.
Let me clarify. What is the probability you win the jackpot? Yes, you do win smaller amounts if you match 3 or 4 or something like that.
Really?
Okay, yeah, you win smaller
I
amounts.
should.
Yeah.
Lottery.
Oh, you know, 18.
So there's only one way to win,
Yeah, 21, never mind.
but let's figure out the total number of combinations that you could essentially pick when you go to select your numbers. Well, how many different combinations could you pick of just the white balls?
59.
59C5. Okay? But you also have to pick a red ball. 35C1 or 35.
Wait, do you have to call the red ball too?
Oh yeah, to get the jackpot. Mm-hmm.
It's impossible.
No, it's not impossible.
Has anyone ever won the jackpot?
Oh yeah. Yeah, you
They
see
just
that.
won it a little bit ago.
Mm-hmm. It got up to about 500 million, somebody won it.
But you're only winning
It's probably
like,
before.
You're winning about half of it.
yeah.
But
It's
still,
probably
five.
before.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that'll last you a
500 million.
lifetime.
Right.
Two lifetimes.
Unless you're stupid.
Anybody got that?
No, I would.
Let's
I would.
take
It would last.
59,
People will last 2 weeks.
Times 35.
175 billion, well not billion,
No,
223,000, 510.
No, it would.
508.
10.
I would
10.
be small.
Okay.
That's what I think.
So the probability of you winning the Powerball jackpot is 1 over 175,223,510. So you have about a 1 in 175 million shot at winning the Powerball.
What if, once
Less
I turn
than
18, I buy one, can I win it?
Like one for.
Remember your favorite math teacher.
Yeah, I'm your
Okay?
Come give him, put $1 on his
Hey,
base.
hey, remember I bumped into you a lot.